All right, what do we
So
got?
I think, a lot of times when characters hold a weapon, I'll say, and of course they use in the normals and all that, and he's no different. You can see his uppercut uses his sword. His jabs, instead of punching, they're swords. His down three, his sword.
He's got a sword, he's got to use it.
Right, he uses it. It is huge, just like him, and it takes up a ton of range.
Oh, what's his
yeah.
gear piece?
His gear piece is
The
his
sword!
I mean, that makes sense, right?
He also, though, has some really cool palettes.
Okay, okay.
Including some that are not just his furry trunks thing. So let's go into some of his more unique normal attacks. He has his back one, which has really good range and is quick.
And is it fancy?
And it's very fancy.
Yeah.
They are highs, so the opponent can jab under them, but they're really good in the neutral. He also has forward two, which is kind of his big standard bearer, mid-long range attack, and you want to go into, you can hit confirm into a combo.
Chop.
The last hit is actually plus on block if they block the big boot, but it's a high, so you can duck it. So you're going to have to like trick them.
Oh, plus on block
commit to
action.
a special move, cut it out early, or you just commit, and if they block, you get advantage. Another one I wanted to show was his forward 3-3. Which I think is one of the coolest looking normals.
It's pretty awesome.
I was going to say that it's my favorite. It's my favorite normal. Just the how it stops the way it does.
Yes. So this has two variations. If you end in 2, he does a quick overhead that splats them. If you end in 3, he does a low that trips them up, and he actually gets a pop up, and that's going to be one of his main combo starters. Then I wanted to talk about 2 moves that he has that he can actually charge up. So he has back 2. Swipes him up in the air, pretty standard stuff. If you hold the button,
You can charge.
you can charge it, and it becomes a pop-up.
Ooh.
And it's probably the highest pop-up.
But is it unblockable?
It's a heck of a pop-up. Now, he also has something neat from it. You can actually cancel it. You can charge it. Or he can cancel it.
Or not.
Into a throw.
Oh, the fake. You gotta do it like. You
Or
gotta do it like
this
3
fatal blow,
times
which will be
before
shown
you
later.
cancel
so
it, so they
if
don't
the standing there and
expect
they're
you to
blocking
cancel.
it, you can go into a throw to catch them off guard.
Okay.
The same applies to back 3. See, he does this big knee, knees you in the gut, or he can charge it, and it actually knocks them away and becomes advantage on block. And from there, he can
big boot.
cancel into throw, fatal blow, or this move he can cancel into back dash or forward dash.
Okay.
So something
Love
you're
me
going to
some
see with
cancels.
Conan across the board is he's going to
Cancel
end
characters.
these strings, and then he can do these charge-up moves, and the opponent's going to have to decide, do they want to try to poke out of it? Do they want to block and then use an advantage? Do they want to just block and hope that, throw and you can escape the throw, and all that kind of good stuff.
So while being a kind of a pick-and-play brawly kind of character, also has some of those higher execution tricks he can do as well. Not super
they're
high
not
execution.
high execution at all, because
Okay.
you're just holding the button and, canceling back and forth.
It's a high execution
but
character,
a little
right?
bit of spice.
And it's
little
a
spice.
no,
I
it's
said there
not
would be a
really.
little
Oh,
spice.
And then the last normals I wanted to go over, which I think are the ones that appeal to you, he has 3 different strikes that go into a throw. So this one ends in an overhead, and it goes into a grab animation. But this one is an actual throw that'll throw the opponent if they're blocking.
That's amazing.
And then he has 2-2 throw, where he will throw the opponent if they're blocking. You can end combos with it, and you can use mix-ups, like maybe you go into a special move if they try to jump out of the throw. And lastly, this has another little twist. If you do 2-2 by itself, it actually restands. So if you go into a combo, he can do it, leave them restanding,
And then
he
let
gets
the
a little
mix
bit of frame
happen.
advantage, and then you can go into some of your mix-ups. You can go into that. You can go into a throw. You could go into your forward 3-3 mix-ups.
Excellent.
And then let's check out his throw before we go into a special move.
Don't flinch. Don't flinch.
Gotta love the throws. So much blood.
And here's his cameo throw. I love this pose.
He just over the sword.
So you can see that's his normal attacks. It's pretty much exactly what you'd want from Conan the Barbarian. Not a lot of fancy. He
Yeah,
is
he
not doing
releases
spinning
pretty
kicks
soon.
at
January
all.
21st?
He's doing big boots, knees, and sword strikes.
This stage got real bloody real fast.
I was about to
Oh,
say
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
A lot of
And I'm
blood.
not resetting it yet.
I mean, catch up.
All right.
YouTube,
So,
this
you
is
wanna go
catch
over
up. It's not
special
blood.
moves?
Yep.
All right, so the first one I want to show is his spin, sword spin. Down forward 1, he does a spinny spin spin.
Spinny spin spin.
It's a good combo ender. You can end your strings with it. And it has a neat effect where it will actually
Who has a move like that in Mortal
reflect
Kombat?
projectiles.
Doesn't
And it
Astra
reflect
have something
them
like
in a
that?
random direction.
Oh.
Ooh!
Look at that go.
Oh,
the
but it goes
EX
in a
one
random
will
direction?
reflect it straight.
Right back at him.
And the EX one has a really neat feature. So normally you do the EX, spinny spin
Spinny spin.
knocks them down. However, if you use one more bar, in addition to EXing it, he can cancel a normal cameo move or another special move into it.
Ooh.
So here's like a
That
normal.
sounds pretty expensive.
You spinny spin, and I'm doing 2-2, and it'll go into his 2-2 string. So you can go into the restand, or you can do it with cameos. And I'm gonna call out Frost.
It's sounding
So you can
very
use
expensive.
2
of a
bars
combo.
to do it because you have to EX it and then you have to cancel it, but you can get bigger combos, ground combos, cameo setups, you name it. So it's reflex projectiles, ends combos, and extends combos.
It does it all.
So a lot of things it can do, and again, big brawly character, but some very interesting spice on some
Right.
of the things he does.
But not high execution.
Right.
You literally just mash out the moves. So then let's go over his
So he's a
sword
masher.
spin.
He's a masher character.
This is
Got
back forward 4, and he turns around and spins this 100-pound sword a
Like
couple
it's
of different
nothing.
times. This is another,
it. And
again,
that sword's
you can
100
use this
pounds?
to end your
Goodness
strings.
gracious!
You can use this
No
to
wonder
punish
why he's
moves from
jacked.
distance. The EX move has armor, so it's going to be one of his better armored attacks. You think the opponent's going to try to poke out of one of those mix-ups I mentioned? Nope, I don't think so, sir. Sit down. Or you can use it to, maybe they're throwing a projectile from half screen. Or you just want to look cool, you can EX it.
I mean, it is looking pretty cool. It is looking pretty cool.
Let's also go over his counter. So he has
Counter.
this parry where he hooks
Nipple
up.
reflectors!
And
Come
if
at
the
me.
opponent tries to do an attack, he bops them on the
Okay.
head, and then he gets a stab.
That looked
and
like a
lets him
crotch
go into
reflector.
combo.
Luke ain't punched him in the crotch, and he
And
says,
then he gets a
I
full
don't
combo.
think
And that'll
so.
parry mids, highs, and overheads.
Hit him with the Y2J Chris Jericho,
Then
dude.
let's go over.
There's more?
There's a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's go over his airstrike.
Reflector!
So this is a move, down back 2. He leaps into the air with a sword attack. This is mainly his pop-up starter. It can also be used as a preemptive
balls of
anti-air, and he can
steel.
afford to jump a little bit higher. And on EX, it adds the little flourish for more hits. And that's going to be kind of the key to starting his combos with his special moves.
Very cool. I like the effects that run down the sword as you're charging it up.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Let's also go over his sword uppercut, which is down forward 2. If you hit 1 after, he does this downward strike. You can use that as an anti-air, you can use it to finish your combos, and the EX version has armor.
I wanna know
a
more about his
reoccurring
resurrection
theme.
ability
So
he
if they're
has.
trying to poke you, if they're trying to anti-air you, all that kind of business, you can use the armor. You don't have to do the second strike, but it's available to get extra damage and to fake out if they're going to try to punish the regular version. You can also do the downward strike as its own special move, as down forward 1 in the air, which you can use as almost like a dive kick, except
It's a dive
he
sword.
would never dive kick.
It's a dive sword.
That's for girly then. That's a dive sword.
Love it.
Dive sword, yes.
Let's also go over his sword run. And then this
Is there
I
armor?
think- oh yes.
Ah, I knew
This
it.
is the armored move of armored moves. Back forward 3, he'll start running, and you can let
Who
the
has a
button
move
go
like that in Mortal
and do the
Kombat?
strike. You can cancel it,
I mean, Ghostface has a run.
so he can stop, go
Run
for
move.
a throw, go for a charge, let it go. The EX version has armor,
Oh, that reminds me of Joker from
and the neat
Injustice.
thing
Oh,
is
no,
if
it's
he's close,
Injustice
the
Mortal
animation
Kombat,
actually
where he runs with the
changes,
crowbar.
and he just straight up
Yeah, that's
bobs
awesome.
you instead of running.
Goes,
Very cool.
Let's also go over one more move, 2 actually. One, it was one of the best parts
You know,
of the
3
trailer,
actually.
his cameo throw. Down forward, L2, and he literally picks up his cameo and throws them at him.
There's a new way to use your cameo.
Yeah, they agreed to sign on
Yeah.
to help Conan the
They signed the
Barbarian.
contract.
Right.
But no.
So he's not a guy that's going to throw projectiles. He's not going to use,
gonna
you know,
throw
magic
another
spell.
person.
Yeah,
I
he
want to
throws
see
a
Conan
human
toss
being.
Goro.
You do have to wait for the cameo to come back before you
I
can't
wanna
spam
see
it, you can't use cameo
Right.
moves.
Conan
But
toss
you
the
essentially
Goro
have a
cameo.
projectile that does a big
This
chunk
gigantic
of damage and takes
character.
up a ton of space.
And looks awesome.
And it looks
Looks
really, really
awesome.
funny. And then his last special move is one of the neatest. We're not going to show it completely here.
We will. So after this, there is a QA fight, which we always do. You'll be able to see it in that as well. So
But let's show it. If he's low on health, he has about 30% left. He can coat himself in this blood.
Okay.
And if you kill him in this state, the spirit of Quam will appear, and he will actually fight it and resurrect with a little bit of health back.
Ooh, so he has a resurrect.
He
there's a
does.
little chance to come back. there.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
Very
resurrection.
cool.
And I think we have one more thing to show. You guys want to see the fatal blow?
Do it.
See it again. Oh yeah, Motaro. Oh my god. Conan tossing Motaro would be hilarious.
Well. That was awesome. Okay, pretty
That was, yeah.
violent.
Yeah,
Dug it.
so he is pretty brutal, pretty straightforward, a lot of armor, a lot of power,
A lot of
range.
oil.
And yes,
A lot of oil,
it's a
baby
big
oil.
sword.